What's up, everybody? This is Justin Flinner coming to you live from Northern Virginia with the Justin Flinner Podcast by My Mentor Medicine. We are in the heart of summertime, and I think it's an appropriate time to talk a little bit about the ins and outs of summer, in the sense of what is good for you, what's not good for you, how we can enjoy the season a little bit more, and some things that you can look out for yourself while you're enjoying this wonderful season. So if you are, in fact, at the time of the year where it is summer, being here in the Northern Hemisphere in the U.S., you are probably off on vacation, or maybe you're sitting on the side of the beach listening to this podcast, or maybe you are planning your next vacation before the school year starts for your kids. Wherever you are in the season, I think it's a good time to remind everyone that we should really be trying to enjoy ourselves during this summertime. I know a lot of people may be overwhelmed by the fact that, my kids are off from school, so I have to figure out what camps they go to, or what comes next. I have some projects I want to work on. Maybe I can get them done, but the heat is a little bit too much. So the summertime is really a time for us to be able to go out and enjoy ourselves. In traditional Chinese medicine, the emotion that is associated with this time of year is, in fact, the emotion of joy. So if we are, in fact, unable to express the emotion of joy in our lives, again, through the lens of traditional Chinese medicine, this is considered to be some form of pathology. Something is going on inside of us that is preventing us from being able to allow this emotion to surface and allow us to really enjoy the people that are around us and the things that we are doing, the places we are going. Most of us, of course, heading probably on vacation if you aren't there already. So if you are enjoying yourself, then by all means, continue. Just sit there, relax, lie on the beach, listen to my voice as I give you a few more pointers that will help you to enjoy the season a little bit more and maybe learn a little bit more about the season itself. A few more things about traditional Chinese medicine. Here's some what we call correspondences. It's what we can look for whenever we are examining a patient to see what it is that may be out of balance, so to speak. Obviously, summer is connected to the temperature of heat, a hot climate, a hot environment. So if in the human body we start to notice that there is an excessive amount of heat that is building up or that is showing on the surface, then we can assume that this is some form of pathology that has already existed in the body or that is starting to manifest and grow even stronger inside of the body. What that might look like is not always heat itself, but when it does manifest as heat, you'll find things such as heat exhaustion or heat stroke or, of course, dehydration. That's why we always tell people that, yes, you need to drink enough water, not just so that your body has enough water inside of it, but so that all of the functioning aspects of the body, all of the organ systems get enough moisture so that they can continue to function as well as they should. And of course, if you don't have enough water, you can push yourself to the limit without even knowing it, and you will experience heat exhaustion or heaven forbid, you experience heat stroke and have to be rushed to the hospital. One way or another, we're still coming back to the temperature or the climate of heat, a hot climate or just in nature heat. We also use the word fire, and that would essentially be an excessive amount of heat inside of the body that may cause you to feel a little bit dizzy, that may cause you to feel a little bit mentally out of sorts, so to speak. Some other things that are common in traditional Chinese medicine when we think of summertime is very general. One of them is the color red. So when we see red, we can associate it, right away with maybe the heat pouring down from the red hot sun, or from, again, coming back to the nature of heat inside of the body. So the redness that might show from inflammation inside of the body. So if we can see somebody injures an area of their body and it starts to swell up, or maybe they have a little cut and there starts to be a little bit of inflammation and maybe even signs of an infection, then we can consider that to be not only just heat, but also the nature of some kind of ailment inside that is manifesting internally and showing externally. I've already mentioned the emotion of joy for the season of summer. Another thing that relates to that is the fact that summer is the peak season during this time of year. It's where the temperatures reach the highest. It is where we get the closest to the sun and we get that maximum amount of heat. Things start to grow really well, and if we get a little bit too much heat, of course, they can start to dry out. So we have to be very careful in this time of the year, especially if we're in an area where the temperatures get really, really high, and also where the climate can become really, really dry. After we've reached this peak, then we start to drop down into the fall season and into the winter season, which is the opposite end of the spectrum. So it's another peak season, but obviously on the other side of the scale. During the summer, these days obviously get longer when we reach closer to the sun, so there's an enormous amount of daylight that we can use to experience the season a little bit more, to have a little bit more time to work outdoors and accomplish a lot more things, whether it's the nature of our work or whether it is the fact that we're able to enjoy our summer a little bit more by having more experiences and building more memories. When we are outdoors, though, we have to be smart about it. Given the fact that the days are getting longer and there is a larger amount of heat that is existing outside, we want to avoid being too active and driving ourselves into the pathogenic nature of having too much heat inside of our body, showing us again, such as heat exhaustion or heat stroke. We should limit our activity to the times of the day in the morning as well as late in the evening, so that we don't force ourselves to be outdoors and do too much during the hottest times of the day. So I recently came across a research study about how puppies who are born during the summer months of June, July, and August are more prone and at higher risk for developing heart disease than puppies born at other times of the year. So you're probably asking yourself, what in the world does this have to do with humans? Well, remarkably, the heart of a dog is quite similar to that of a human. So the researchers, given what they discovered in their research study, they were also hoping to find a little bit of information as to the fact that if humans are born during the summer months, are they also more prone to developing certain heart diseases or heart conditions? Obviously, more research is needed. It is interesting that an animal whose heart has a similar structure to humans is at a higher risk of developing heart disease. So it's a valid question. Are we also in the same boat as these puppies? Is it possibly true that those who are born during the months of the summer, June, July, and August, is it possible that they are at a higher risk for certain heart diseases, coronary heart disease? Are they at a higher risk for developing hypertension? Is there some other factor that is involved? Maybe it's an emotional component that puts them at a higher risk for these kinds of conditions. Who knows? Of course, again, more research is needed, but it's an interesting question nonetheless. So let's come back to the summer season here. If we are, I'm going to focus a little bit on the emotion here for the last minute or so. If we are unable to truly experience the wonderful parts of this actual season and allow ourselves to really enjoy the vacation. Maybe you know someone, or you are the type of person who is a workaholic and has a difficult time getting away from their work or their desk or away from the little things that you think you might have to do. It is always a good time to take a break at some point and really enjoy the moment. So the nature of summer does not always have to reside during the summer months. We can make time to enjoy the aspects of what summer is supposed to provide us in terms of the emotion, in terms of the climate. And the climate does not always have to mean just hot or of a fiery nature. It can also just be warmth. So inside, when you feel the emotion of joy and you feel it deep within inside of you, not just on the surface, you actually feel as though your heart is warming up. So this same sensation that warms you from the inside and also produces a little bit of smile on your face. These are the same kind of things that present themselves during the summer months. And again, coming back to the nature of the traditional Chinese medicine, the summer season is placed in what we call the fire element. So there's 5 specific elements. You have one essentially representing each season, but also one representing that transitional season from the peak months of the hot nature to the colder nature. So spring, summer, and then we have what's called late summer, and then we have fall, and then into winter. So those are your 5 seasons corresponding directly with the 5 elements. And the summer season sits right in there with the element of fire. And anytime we can experience this emotion of joy and this sensation of warmth deep inside of us, and we can do it in a healthy manner, we know that this particular element, the particular organ systems that relate to this element, are functioning fairly well. However, if we are not able to enjoy the fruits of what this element as well as this season provide for us in bonding with others and being able to open our hearts and have good relationships throughout our lives and really experience the benefit of having that internal warmth that feeds us and allows us to be a nice and kind and open person, then we have to do a little bit of work in order to move forward, to allow these gates to open, so to speak. So let me close and again say that if you are off on vacation right now and you're listening to this podcast, just relax, just enjoy it, soak it in, enjoy the time by yourself, or if you're with family and friends, enjoy the time with your family and friends, because this summer season won't come again. This is the last time you get a summer in 2018. You'll have to wait another 12 months for the next one, unless you fly across the world and enjoy warm climates for a living. If you do, all the more power to you. I'd love to travel with you. The summer months are fantastic. And also, please remember to protect yourself, protect your eyes, protect your skin. Make sure that you dress properly. Make sure you use that sunscreen. Make sure you use and wear the UV protective lenses that you might have. Wear a hat, wear the proper clothing, drink the right amount of water. Don't be outside too long during the hottest times of the day. Be sensible about what it is that you're doing during the summer months so that you can, in fact, enjoy the entire season, not part of it, and then spend the rest of it trying to recuperate from whatever it is that you should have done differently. So I wish you all a wonderful summer, wonderful vacations, amazing times with your family and friends, creating beautiful memories that you will remember for a lifetime. For now, this is Justin Flinner, and this is the Justin Flinner Podcast by My Metro Medicine. Enjoy your summer, and I'll see you back here next time. This podcast is brought to you by My Metro Medicine, an organization that is dedicated to helping people improve their lives by learning to empower themselves and take control of their own life. Any form of reproduction or distribution of this podcast is strictly prohibited. Should you have any questions on using this podcast or information that is contained within this podcast, please write to info@mymetromedicine.com.